Water. All right, take the L. Yo, Trev,
they're wrong.
just take the L.
That wasn't the vote I was expecting to have before we come into this. Astralis taking on Mad Lions. Both of these teams with a little bit of a bumpy start to the beginning of spring, but Mad Lions only picking up 1 win, whereas Astralis had 2. Now we get to see really who's going to be more stable, who's going to be more consistent, because last week there was a lot of questions left on the table.
There was. It's the demise of Mad and Koi, it feels like, in these best of 1. So we'll see how they bounce back. Astralis, big surprise in winter, of course, and now with Leader coming in, even bigger surprise. They took down G2, and Leader's been the helm of that ship. The big question for me is, how will Nisqy and Elyoya do up against Leader? Because to me, are the consistent mid-jungle. They always find leads in the early game. But playing up against Leader, it'll be tough. Can they shut him down?
We're going to find out as Astralis and Mad Lions about to hit picks and bans. If you are hearing the fans laughing and some of the people on stage pointing, unfortunately, one of our graphics machines has just crashed. We probably won't show it on camera, but it is a fatal error in the software system. So that will be rebooted in a moment.
Someone deleted System 32.
The one thing I do want to talk about very briefly is, of course, Leader. That Irelia was used to exceptional effect to take down G2. And when I look at his top 5 most played champions, out of his 220 odd games, 40 of them on Akali, 30 of them on Irelia, 30 of them on Sylas, and then Yasuo. He has a playstyle preference, and when it works, it really works.
He's cooking, and we'll see what he's got to cook on blue side. A little bit more tricky in finding those counter picks. Oftentimes, you would love to go towards red side and maybe counter pick with a Zed or a Yasuo on 5. So we'll see how they navigate the draft, but very standard bans coming out here. Jace, Varus, Sejuani. We're looking at jungle pool. Things like Lee Sin have been rising in priority with Vi, and the bot lane, of course, with things like Evolution.
Very excited to see. I mean, Elyoya's got 2 Lee Sin games under his belt already. For the moment, though, it is Jace, Varus, Sejuani, Elise banned off the table. We are on patch 13.4 for all of the regular season. We need to see what's going to be happening with this AD carry pool as well. Caitlyn has been something that's cropped up a little bit in the past week.
Yeah, I also think Xayah has been really strong, especially in Europe. I feel like Xayah Rakan is such a good band-aid bot lane pick for... We won't win the lane that hard, but our team fighting will be incredible. And I think Astralis have used it to very good effect so far this split as well. Kobbe Xayah looked fantastic, so we'll see if that's the direction they want to go in. But you need to be a bit careful giving up these power picks like Caitlyn that you touched on, because the lane phase will be tough, and if they can snowball through the lane, then you're going to be in trouble. And Mad Lions mid-jungle so good at moving towards those side lanes, so if Carzzy does get his hands on it, then might be a bit of an issue. But to me, he's not really a Caitlyn player. He's more of the Aphelios style.
The question is going to be, what is the highest priority here? JeongHoon's going to be locking in that Rakan. Xayah has been played by Kobbe 3 times this year. 0 games for Carzzy, on the other hand. Annie and Jarvan with the last 2 bans out. So a lot of those kind of priority picks that we have seen elsewhere still somewhat available. Mad Lions, what direction do they go? And also, I think the mini game that I'm going to be tracking, does Nisqy feel bold enough to pick one of these tankier supportive mids and see if Leader's got an answer into it, or does he actually leave that counter pick to last to deal with something that Leader will throw at him and the Xayah's going to be stolen away?
Yeah, denying the Xayah there. I think they can go in multiple directions here. Astralis, they can go for something like the Aphelios, they can go for something like the Sivir, they can go Kai'Sa, Draven. Doesn't really matter, but they have to be careful, of course, because I think something like Nautilus on 3 here could be deadly. Gragas will be a flex for the top side of Mad Lions. Gonna go for the Kai'Sa, it looks like. Old school Season 9. Fight to the death, but we'll hold our breath for now with these jungle bands coming in. Sejuani, Elise, Jarvan picking up the Lee Sin. I think 113 will be really happy about that. Leader was touching on 113's Lee Sin on Euphoria, saying that it's actually one of his favorite champs. He's got a lot of games in it on the ERLs, and there is the Kai'Sa. So the way this matchup works is Kai'Sa dives in, Xayah ults, and she kind of negates her engage. That's why it was such a common pick against Xayah in Season 9.
Yeah, and of course, when you combo that with Lee Sin, when you combo it with Rakan, all 3 of them want to go at you in your face. I'm going to put some numbers to this. 113's 136 games that I can see. 16 of them are on Lee Sin. It's his 4th most played. He's got an 81% win ratio on that champion, so has the ability to impact. Whether or not that Gragas will be in either Nisqy's or Elyoya's or Chasy's hands, still a little bit to be up in the air, only because we have seen it flex, but at least we know the duos. It's going to be that Xayah Rell into Kai'Sa Rakan. So we're going in, we're going potentially for bloodbaths here.
And I feel like Astralis and Leader love bloodbaths. Their game against G2, I don't know how many kills they had, upwards of 50 probably. So the more fighting, the better it is for players like Leader when it comes to these skirmish heavy melee champs. He doesn't want to sit there and scale on Azir or on Chasy or anything along those lines. He wants to fight early, and supports moving towards mid will be so important. That's why I think Hylissang has gone for Rell to make sure that he can hover around mid, because that's where all the fighting will be. Rise taken away here from Leader. Of course, the Gragas flex can start denying some of these range champs that Leader can play into the melee champ of Gragas.
The analysts were talking a little bit about the coin flips from Hilly. I think Treats in particular said the coin hasn't come up the way Mad Lions would have liked too often this spring. On a champion like Rell, it is make or break.
Yeah.
It is almost the quintessential Hilly champion in terms of when you go in with that crash down and that magnet storm, your team either backs you up and you win the fight, or you just get shot down where you stand. We'll find out which version of Hilly loads into the Rift as the solo lanes are not being banned away. So Rise, Jax, Talia taken out of the pool. My instinct would be here that you would save that counter pick for mid, for Nisqy on Mad Lion side because of the threats that Leader poses. It'll be a Fiora final ban. We're going to find out now.
Fiora Jax bans, that screams Kled to me, perhaps, for Astralis. Are they going to run something like Akali Kled here on 4-5? I would be a bit concerned if I was Mad Lions in finding some disengage or some firepower that can match that with that Fiora ban. See what they opt into on 4 here. They have to kill the Gragas flex somehow, and then Gnar makes the most sense, the easiest one to blind. Does that open up?
Do it.
The Kled,
Do
Yasuo.
Do it.
I think once you've got this much engage, you just double down.
18 games played for Finn, 72% winner. His 4th most played champion. It's a similar type of impact as 113's Lee Sin. The question will be as well for Leader, what is he going to run in this mid lane? We know he tends towards those aggressive engage support or like champions. So Kled's 1. What was that you mentioned? Akali is
something like
2?
Akali or Sylas would be good. I mean, Sylas into Gnar is fantastic. It's just a question of, does Nisqy have a counter pick into Sylas? Does he have something that you can punish him? Normally things like Jace are good. Any kind of AD carry mids are really good into Sylas. Renekton is also quite strong. Kassadin blind would be a bit scary. So we'll see what Leader opts into, but again, it's just something that can go forwards. They are lacking a little bit of AP damage, so yeah, Akali is the easiest one to go for.
I mean, a little bit kind of anticipated to some degree just because of the players and their preferences, but do you have any inkling to what Nisqy and the Mad Lions would want to do in response here? Does that Gragas get moved to mid and they'll find a different jungler, which is the current assumption?
I think Gragas has to go mid here into the Akali. It's just, it negates the Akali's tools. It stops the Akali from being able to push in mid and try to contest 2v2s. So they're going to have to go for a jungler, but there's so many junglers taken away that they're going to have to go for something like the Wukong. Not the worst expected. I mean, Viego can work, but it's so hit or miss Viego because they're playing 4-5 melee champs. And when they go in, if you get a reset, you'll win. If you don't get a reset, you're just going to get one shot. So something like Wukong that can disrupt the fight, Gragas can disrupt the fight. A lot of knockups, a lot of CC that they can point and click onto the Akali is important. So Carzzy is everything in this draft for Mad Lions. If Carzzy dies, everything falls apart. If Astralis can get on top of him, they're going to win the fight.
I mean, you made it really simple. If you are Carzzy, yes, you've got the Feather Storm, but you're dealing with charge from Kled, all the mobility of Lee Sin and Akali. Yeah. You're trying to dodge the battle dance and the quickness from Rakan. And if any of that touches you at all, the killer instinct from Kai'Sa can just jump on top and blow you up. So good luck, Carzzy.
Just protect the president. That's basically it. They're going to have to use Gnar ult to disengage, Gragas ult to disengage. They're going to have to use the Rell to peel. Like, it's going to be a bit of a mess, we'll say, but I think I saw Kobbe smirk. I think he's pretty happy with the draft. Playing Kai'Sa with these champions is exactly what you want. You don't want to play Kai'Sa with things like Karma and Azir. You can't really unlock the full potential of the champion when your draft is not going in one direction. Astralis
have quietly become one of the most entertaining teams to watch in 2023, and this composition is just the new essence and ethos of the squad. In terms of the early game or in terms of the laning phase, where do we need to pay our attention? Who has to either win early or stay alive early?
Mid lane. Every time Leader's in the game, when he was on Misfits, when he was on Vitality, and now here on Astralis. We've talked about him a lot already, but he is almost like a black hole on the map. He'll suck everyone in and make sure that if you're not matching with your support or your jungler, there's going to be a fight. But we're ready for Game 1, Astralis versus Mad Lions.
Oh, it brings me so much joy to be reunited with you, Caedrel. It's been such a long time since we've cast together. We won't even get a chance to really set up anything because Mad Lions have snuck in. Observers, toggle vision. Does Astralis know? I noticed Kobbe stepping forward. I don't think he would have seen them.
They're going to hug the wall and go around the corner here just to limit the amount of vision. Kobbe hasn't warded, so they actually sweeped a bit early here. So they're not sure if it's warded here, Mad Lions. A little bit awkward. So do they take the gambles? That's why they're backing off, because they actually used their sweeper a little too early. If they knew that bush wasn't warded, they probably would have gone deeper. But obviously, if they're sitting on a ward, you know, all of Astralis come down, it's going to be a bit messy. Finn's using the Ignite here. There's only one TP on Astralis, so when it comes to the mid to late game, it's going to be a bit complicated. Finn will just look for engages constantly.
I mean, ideally, from the Astralis perspective, their composition would like to be in a position where that TP is quote-unquote not needed. I think when you look at the dive, the engage potential, especially when you get to 1-2 items, Astralis want to be playing on their front foot, want to make sure that Carzzy is taken out. And when you look at the damage potential on the side of Mad Lions, they really, really cannot afford to fall behind because they will be just blown up instantaneously.
Yeah, they've got 3 champions relying on base damage in jungle, mid, and support. The Gnar can get ahead, which will pressure side lanes, yes, but yeah, it's all Carzzy really, isn't it? So we can see Elyoya starting on the top side, pathing down. And you can see 113 is going to start the Raptors. I expect he'll do some kind of Raptors red Krugs and then look to invade or try to start a fight on the bot side of the map. That would be ideal for Astralis.
Right now, just immediately trading as far as the spawn lane is concerned. Hilly was stepped all the way forward in that front bush, taking a quick look at the rest of the lanes. Nisqy and Leader will be staring eye to eye as Finn is already stepping forward there. And look at this, Crashdown comes up from Hilly. A couple of shots fired from Kobbe in return, and an even trade, but you can already see this wave being pushed backwards.
Yeah.
This is the player that really, really cannot afford to concede early, cannot afford to allow Kobbe to get ahead, because then once you do hit those dive level 6 marks, things get scary, and 113 already potentially showing up.
Yeah, he's going to have JeongHoon hover now, so after this range creep, I think JeongHoon is just going to start moving up the river soon. Needs to get this wave in for Kobbe first, by the looks of it though, but he'll start up the blue. And this is ideal here for Astralis because they have bot push, and you want to pressure early when you're playing something like Lee Sin or Kai'Sa. You want to start getting in their face, starting a fight. And Elyoya won't be aware of it just yet. He'll show on the ward as he pulls the wolves down towards bot side, you expect, if he starts kiting it. And then 113 will just get out with his blue buff for free. Now the question is, does Astralis stay around here? Does 113 just leave and just take the camp win and give his bot lane an easy base? It looks like the answer is yes, but he's thinking about it.
What I really like though is immediately, as 113 was on that blue buff, JeongHoon already made his way up. Didn't get a chance to talk about that as the bear trap on a rope. We'll pull Chasy backwards. Skull is sent running, and Finn will use the pocket pistol. Chasy's going to be in mini Gnar for a while. Skull starting to charge back up, and small CS advantage for that mini Gnar. With that ranged for abilities early on, and 113 at least threatening, maybe shadowing. Unsure a little bit where Elyoya might be.
I think he's looking for a dive, but he realized Chasy's basing and TPing, so just going to go for the crab. So quite a slow early game. Only a takeaway of the blue buff so far from 113. We'll keep tracking it, but Finn not using TP means that he needs his jungler to hover him. So what 113's done is he's given his bot lane a free base on the push out, giving them a longsword advantage, then hover top to make sure Finn can crash his wave and base with the TP disadvantage. So Astralis bot lane playing a little bit safe right now. Does Mad Lions pull the trigger? I think it's really hard to just straight up dive them full HP. Not a big enough wave either.
I think Elyoya was still right on top of that ward as well, so JeongHoon and Kobbe fully aware of it.
Yeah.
JeongHoon's even going to interrupt the back. A couple of golf claps here. Elyoya will be slow to finish that recall.
It's a matter of time, I'm telling you. The second one team pulls the first trigger on the dive, it's going to be endless.
Well, engage comes out from Hilly. Not a lot of crowd control landing for now. Flying backwards as the root connects from Carzzy. A little lower mana. Ignite will force the flash. He's on retreat for now. A big wave in front of him. No support from Mad Lions, so potential dive.
Is Hilly gonna? No way is Hilly gonna.
Thinking about, he's threatening it. 2-man knockout from JeongHoon, but Kobbe level through the Captain Range simply doesn't really have the damage just yet. So I'll take that chip damage, take that small lead, but ultimately it's actually a CS advantage here for Kobbe and Astralis.
Hilly showing restraint. That's not the Hilly I know. The old Hilly would have just gone for it and probably died, so I think it's a good idea he didn't go for it. 113 is not based yet, but Elyoya has cycling through his second clear. Finn actually didn't base from that top wave crash, so he's in a bit of trouble right now in the sense that his jungler's resetting, camps are respawning bot side, and he needs to get this base off soon. He's just going to keep bleeding creeps. It's going to get worse and worse.
I think he's trying to hit to that level 6 if he can. I mean, you talked about it, no teleport available. So unfortunately, with that wave being pushed all the way in, he's trying to be a little greedy. Down 7 for now. Yeah. Skull will come up in just a second. Fancies himself a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah, there's like ward on Krugs off to the right side of the map there on Mad Lions' camp. I think he saw Elyoya there. If he knew the Wukong was bot side, Finn would have gone for an all in there. Little bit of danger. Elyoya's just hovering. You can see 113 out of base, went towards Krugs. Finn's playing on his own right now. Needs to be very, very wary.
I mean, you can literally feel the tension in Caedrel and Maya's voice. We're just waiting for those first engages. Mid laners, top laners making their way towards level 6. So it's going to be just one of the big tools unlocked. And just before we actually get any of the potential skirmishes, I want to take a quick second to talk about Leader from the mid laners that has the ability to complete takeover this game. You look at his damage per minute, sitting 4th in the league. Goal difference at 14, significant, 600 over his opponents, and that CSD is phenomenal. Right now, he's being asked to help out JeongHoon in 1-1-3. They started the Dragon, but that's the guy that can obviously run amok. He's on one of his signature champions too, but also more importantly, the entire comp can enable him.
We'll see if he can get himself involved here. Dragon started up. Mad Lions don't want to give it for free. Kobbe's on the way, but doesn't have the ultimate. Carzzy's in base, so it's a 4v3 disadvantage for Mad, but they're getting chunked out from the Dragon. They're just going to have to stand there and watch them take it, I think, here, Mad, unless they pull the trigger. Hilly's walking up. I think he's trying to call for a contest, but Mad Lions, not sure if they want this.
Looking for the engage. The barrel is stolen from Nisqy. 1-1-3 is only level 5. Elyoya goes forward with that crushing blow. Somebody he'll use from Kobbe as the knockup lands from Nisqy, continuing to chase forward. The ultimate goes forward and lets the first blood secured. All of a sudden, instant trade back. Hilly's the next target. Leader and 1-1-3 trying to close it out. A knock-up into the end. Hilly's still not taken out. Leader and 1-1-3 can't find that final hit. JeongHoon will dance over the wall to safety. Ends up being a 1-for-1, but the Dragon goes to Mad.
This is just the beginning. As soon as everyone comes out of base, it's going to be another fight. Summoner's blown. I think what happened there is 1-1-3 must have smited the Dragon when it had towards full HP. And Mad Lions must have known that he didn't have smite. It doesn't make sense to hover like that otherwise and just try to use your ultimate to steal. It's a bit of a waste. You want to keep it for the fight, but yeah, Nisqy just takes it straight under his nose. And now Astralis just trying to crash his midwave, get Leader into base, get him items bought, and start the fight towards bot side again. Carzzy losing that flash is something that Astralis will try to focus on.
I mean, that's a already good start here for Mad Lions, and if you're a fan, because of how they're going to need to execute those team fights. Finn is being bullied a little bit. He's down 15 CS in that top lane, and with Chasy about to gnar out, Finn is paying respect. No skull available. He backs away, and this was the 3v3 that ultimately Nisqy stole the Dragon.
Yeah, so Nisqy must know that the smite's on cooldown, uses the ult, actually knocks him into him so he can get the E, dodges out from JeongHoon's knockup, so it looks good for Mad, because in the 3v4, a lot of Astralis' spells actually missed, and 1-1-3 is really low, but Leader calls the focus onto Elyoya, gets the first one down, it's traded onto Kobbe, and here, I thought Hylissang would be in trouble, but Leader has to back away because Carzzy's arrived, and it's a bit of a supportal combat. JeongHoon gets flipped, has to dash out, and Mad get away with the Dragon.
The thing I want to keep an eye on is, can Mad Lions have that same level of control and coordination once Kobbe and JeongHoon and 1-1-3 all have access to the ultimates? That fight, it was really only the mid laners that had their ults to play with, level 4s and level 5s across the board. But the first blood was secured by 1-1-3, so he's got a small advantage over Elyoya. Kill was secured by Nisqy on that Gragas. A little bit of front line will be very good, and I think very importantly, Carzzy sitting ahead of Kobbe and Chasy being ahead of Finn is going to give Mad Lions a little bit of time, a little bit of breathing room for when Astralis inevitably look to start those fights. And this time around, Caedrel, Cyclone is available. 1, 2, 3 members knocked up. Crushing blow for an insta-kill onto Kobbe. Elyoya continues to chase forward with that Nimbus strike. 1-1-3 down to 200. 150, taken out. A double kill for Elyoya. And I think they're going to dive this time around.
JeongHoon, is he going to be able to escape? It looks like they're going to try to get the wave in. I think he'll get the recall off in time. No dive available for Mad, unless Hilly can stop the base. Looks like he won't go for it, but JeongHoon's actually sticking around. See if he can get some information here. Try to stop Hylissang, because he's trying to pull the wave so the other one can crash faster, so that Carzzy doesn't have a harder time, and he can start getting the plates a bit quicker. So the important thing there was Kobbe wasn't level 6. Look at the experience between these AD carries. Level 7 on Carzzy. He had access to the Featherstorm, and if Kobbe had the killer instinct, he could have dodged away from Hylissang's engage or the follow-up from Elyoya, but he was stuck. No flash. Good punish by Mad.
That's plus 1900 gold here in favor of Mad Lions. 2 kills for Elyoya in that previous skirmish, and I think so importantly, Carzzy's using this bottom lane to his advantage. JeongHoon's nowhere near. Flash already blown once again. Kobbe gets stunned in place. Carzzy's trying to find some feathers. Ignite's dropped as well. And
he really wants this, Hillies.
There's a crash down once again. Caedrel looking at the minimap. Nisqy's making his way forward. Kobbe's killer instinct has been used, and Hilly's actually going to drop. Mad Lions chase a little too far. The flash, the body slam, the feather. Instant reply, and while that was going on, 1-1-3 got the heralds.
1-1-3 did get the herald. Elyoya was hovering around looking for a steal, so Astralis went out a little bit on the top side for the objective game, but Mad Lions answering back on bot side with a kill onto Kobbe. Denies more creeps from him. Hylissang doesn't mind dying there. So much confidence. He knew Nisqy was right behind him, I suppose. Nisqy looking for a leader, but he has the ult. He might have to use it. See how much damage Nisqy can get out here. He has the ult if he wants to commit.
That's a lot of damage already down. Here comes Elyoya. Flash as well as the crushing blow.
The Q.
Leader, the barrel will pick it up. Nisqy gets the 5th of the game for Mad Lions. They are completely controlling Astralis.
Yeah, Mad Lions are just taking over the entire map. Both side lanes are winning. Nisqy's ahead, roaming around, managing to get the kill onto Leader. Leader didn't expend the ultimate, and he can't dash through Nisqy because he's obviously going in the wrong direction. He can only really flash away. So good positioning from him. Nice Q as well. Leader tried to dodge back into the Gragas to dodge the barrel. but Nisqy plays it really well.
I mean, and you take a look at the itemization here. Already Gale Force picked up for Carzzy. 1-0-2. Got the CS advantage. The reason I call that out, that Xayah was a first rotation pick for the Mad Lions. Denying the Xayah Rakan bottom lane. Kobbe's Kai'Sa 0-3-2 hasn't had the opportunity to run away with the game. I think more importantly though, every single time these teams have kind of lined up to either contest for the Dragon, to challenge for the tower dives in the bottom lane, Mad Lions are just playing patiently, they're playing controlled. They're playing much better than I thought they did for games 1 and 2 of last weekend, for example.
Definitely are. They're playing more as a team. I think that's really important. And they're playing through this mid-bot side of the map. Chasy's just sitting there in isolation, winning against Finn. But the communication between Elyoya and Hylissang has been great so far. Making sure that they're on the same page, making sure they're on the same waves, taking the fights together. And Astralis, their only real way back into this game is just fighting, because they don't really have that much wave clear. They're all short-ranged. Their champs need to get kills and gold to actually be useful in the mid to late game, otherwise they just fall off. So they need to start fighting more and more. 113 needs to start coming around towards this bot side a bit more, I think.
And of course, when you take a look at that top lane, Finn's Kled is down 34 CS. That's the one I start to get very, very nervous about. Because yes, that charge can help out the rest of his squad, but the significant disadvantage he's in will make it so much more difficult. And Hylissang potentially looking for a set from the mid lane while that's going on. 1-1-3 as well as Finn jumping onto Chasy. The Dragon's Rage comes forward, the flash away from the Q. Skull gets popped and Chasy's about to Gnar out. Maybe able to use the ultimate. No support coming from the rest of Mad Lions. Resonating shot, do it. Lee Syndrome gonna hold the trigger. Leader was considering pushing up to the top lane, but instead backed away.
Yeah, they're gonna lose so much in bot lane for this, I feel like, Astralis. They expended both their flashes, ignites and ultimates, and got nothing. They don't drop the Herald. They're losing plates in bot. Kobbe is gonna have to be scared of a dive here. Doesn't have the flash up just yet. TP on leader might have to be used to defend this dive. See if they commit to it here, Mad Lions. Need to be careful about this TP though.
Cyclone, Cyclone, Cyclone. The feathers are out. The magnets are available, but Hilly's just going to crash over the wall. 113 is chasing Nisqy towards the river. Teleport completed there from leader.
Good
they
bait.
will at least so. Mad Lions, despite not getting the kills, they get the TP out. They got the advantage top lane. They're going to take plates top lane, and they get the TP bottom. This is huge.
They're just outpacing Astralis right now. Making plays first, responding to plays well. Astralis aren't able to find anything just yet. Looking for a bot play here. Hylissang, I can actually hear him just screaming. Let's go for this bot play.
He's still got the ulti, by the way. Didn't use it either of those previous engages. Will do it this time round. Kobbe's heal's already used. He's taken up by Elyoya. 3-1-2 on that Wukong. And that window of opportunity, the potential for the early and the mid-game skirmishes, it's starting to get more and more dire here for Astralis.
It really is, and I'm just going to highlight something in the minimap here. It's just this area that they can constantly walk down. These ping cords here are just doing so much work for Mad Lions. There's no vision in bot. Leader should be fine here. I don't think he's under that much threat, but there's no vision for Kobbe. He can never push out bot. He never knows when his timers are. 113 is constantly on this top side the last couple minutes. Just makes bot lane really hard to play, but that'll recover a bit of gold onto Finn. He was 1,000 gold down. Still is roughly, but if he can get this full tower, he should be alright. But you can see Hylissang and Elyoya sprinting up here. Plating's off. Do they commit to the full tower?
Looks to be the case for now. 2.5 minions left. Couple more autos will secure it. So the tower, first blood picked up there by Astralis. And you know, when you look at this Nisqy Gragas, remind me if correct me if I'm wrong, but Nisqy played Gragas towards playoffs, right? The best of series at the end of winter.
I can check it for you
because
right now.
He only has 5 games played all time, and he's won 4 of them.
Yeah.
And I feel fairly confident that his first game was like towards the end of winter.
Yeah, it was against Koi in the playoffs, against SK as well. He played it a lot throughout the playoffs. He even played it against G2, but didn't find the win there.
But this time around, the pick, the fact that it was flexed from that first rotation all the way down to the final pick once Elyoya locked in that Wukong, it has been a neutralizing force.
Yep.
It hasn't buckled under any pressure because Astralis haven't found any threats in the mid lane. And frankly, his roaming has already generated a significant lead here. So just really good play. Draft went in their favor, and I think Mad Lions executing it well, which is why they're up 3k, 2 dragons, and 4 kills.
Yeah, that's why I was a bit concerned about this Akali blind. As much as I can see why Leader went for it, the Gragas going mid just, like you said, just nullifies the pick completely. Gragas is a nullifier. You pick him into things like Jax, and every time they jump in, you just eat them, body slam, phase rush away, and there's nothing to be done. And it's the same concept with things like Akali and Lee Sin. And when you have a Wukong on top of that, they can just knock up with clone as well. It becomes really hard to find an actual target to get on top of because you're just being disrupted the entire time. Dragons is where the focus is at now, though. 1 minute 30 seconds on the next one. Put Mad Lions on sole point, so they're going to control this bot side of the map. Leader will push out top and come down towards this bot side river eventually. We're going to have a fight over it, but Chasy's found Finn.
Well, let's find out how much damage Chasy can put down. Mega Gnar is about to proc. Throws out the satellite, continues to chase, throws out yet another. That bottom half of the map is belonged to Mad Lions. And I think while, yes, the neutralizing force of Gragas is in that 1v1, I think the way that Nisqy's played it, it's kind of quintessential Nisqy. Playing to the side lanes, he's enabling the likes of Elyoya. Carzzy's already up 1,600 gold. Chasy's pretty much single-handedly generated that 1,000 gold lead and the 30 CS advantage. For Astralis, they have to find their fight. I mean, 16 minutes in, we're a minute until that third dragon. Scaling-wise, is there something you start to get a little nervous for Mad Lions if they lose some control, if they can't extend that lead further, or is it just the front line is going to be too difficult to get through?
Yeah, I think Astralis need to be explosive if they want to get back in this. There's no real scaling in their favor. Yes, Akali and Kai'Sa will be stronger in the later stages, but there's no real way back into the game other than just fight your way out of it, because the way the game works, just stacking dragons, it's just an easy way out for Mad. Surprised that they gave up that Herald, though. I think they didn't want to transition all their vision topside and then be vulnerable on this next dragon. They just kind of gave it over to Astralis, so we'll see how they can use it. I mean, Astralis could go back topside and place it top and look for 2 towers while they trade this dragon, but it looks like they want to fight. Kobbe has the Kraken Slayer. I think this is just going to be a call to engage. TP in from Nisqy, who realizes he can't give up this control to make sure this midwave can stay in. JeongHoon already chunked out a little bit.
A lot of damage there. Nisqy goes forward to the body slam. We'll hold on to the explosive cost. Kobbe's heal is just a few seconds away. JeongHoon's flash is 5 seconds away. Outside of that, a lot of the key summoners and ultimates are available. JeongHoon gets the knock up onto Hilly. Would Seeker fired out from Kobbe, and the river is under control of Mad Lions.
Finn.
Flash may be needed, charges forward, finds the fat man. Skull is proc, pocket pistol, interrupted, flashes to try stay alive, but it's Carzzy that picks up the kill. The 7th for the Mad Lions in a 5 versus 4. They turn towards that dragon.
And it should be free. Leader was running down the river, ready to flank, but Finn dies too quickly. Mad Lions are just running around as a death ball, and Astralis cannot crack it. All this vision plays down as well. On top of that, they're on constant wards. Man, looking for more.
They really are. They found themselves 1-1-3, knocked all the way backwards. He'll ward hop over the wall, sidestep Sputnik, and inside the river is going to be Carzzy. Could cut him off, but I mean, Astralis are just shambles at the moment.
Yep.
Finn cut off. He was run down. Great decision making from Mad Lions. 1-1-3 stays alive a few seconds longer here. Who's going to be donated the kill? It feels like he'll go to Chasy, trying to find that hyper proc, and he will get the final one.
Dragon goes over. Not really much 1-1-3 can do there. If the bot tier 1 wasn't there, he could maybe look for a recall because he has the Herald. But yeah, as good as dead. Leader recognizes it, Kobbe recognizes it. Just push out lanes, go for a base, try to be back on the map, and contest Baron up in 1 minute 30 seconds. I think Mad will have no trouble starting that up and looking for a turn, but this just comes down to staying together. Finn's just over pushing bots when they're trying to focus on midwave, and Mad are the ones with control, so you can't really step up that far to get the wave in. You just get collapsed on. Astralis a little bit late, and they're not together. Finn on the picture-in-picture fighting Chasy, though. If he can get that kill, that would be pretty big, but he's going to lose the Scarl form.
Well, we're going to find out. Mega Gnar into mini Scarl. JeongHoon and Leader make their way forward. Flash comes out, knocked up into the air. He is trying to chase, still has that flash available to him. Here comes Skull, bear trap on a rope, and the shutdown secured. So that's at least 1 kill back.
Yep.
Big ingest or injection of gold, but they are still down a significant amount.
Astralis took a page out of Mad Lions' book there. Just sent 4 or 5 people bot on a side lane and look for a kill. Of course, they'll lose a mid tower, they'll lose a top tower, but they should get an objective bounty back for it. So this proactivity is what they need to look for. Can they go for 2 towers is the question. Chasy's 20 seconds away on the respawn with TP up. Pings are coming down on the spot side. Nisqy's taking a recall. He doesn't want to give up too many objectives. So Nisqy could have taken that top tower, but he wants to defend the bot lane tower.
It's going to be another fight here, Caedrel. Sorry to interrupt, but with Hylissang fighting 1-1-3, Carzzy and Elyoya stepping forward. Dragon's Rage will knock at least Hilly forward. The Magnet Storm jumps on top of Finn. Teleport being channels, the feathers fly, and the recall will root a few. 5 versus 4 in the river for now. Nisqy's TP's on cooldown. Knock-up lands onto Elyoya. He's held onto that Cyclone. Remember, 3 dragons to their name. Astralis fishing, but they don't find any bites.
You said it, Trevor. Nisqy's TP is on cooldown. If he had it, they would have committed their man for the 5v5, but with Baron spawning in 10 seconds during the fight, if you lose that and you lose Baron, that's your entire game thrown away. No point taking a 4v5, just play it safe and be happy with the small wins. They've managed to defend that bot tier 2. Nisqy's going to push out the waves, and then they can start establishing control back up towards this top side.
Well, I want to give a couple of seconds of praise here to Carzzy. A tough week 1. 1-on-3 will jump away. When you look at his kill participation, damage per minute, gold per minute, definitely on the lower end, but for a team that went 1 and 2, that's not too surprising. The reason I do want to highlight it is how significantly better he's going this time around. 2 items completed, a 400 gold bounty, 203, and on the one champion that really needed to stay ahead, to stay on top of the game. Mad Lions enabled him, they ganked for him, they put so much pressure in that bottom lane to ensure that both Carzzy and Hilly could then use that advantage around the rest of the map. And now it's up to Mad Lions just to play this mid game out. I mean, 4K up. I think 2.5 minutes till Dragon. That kind of has to be make or break.
Has to be. 2 minutes early, you highlighted it. We'll see if Astralis can take a fight over it. Chemtech Soul is not that strong though, so I don't think Astralis will be too concerned if they lose it. Looking for a pick again here. 113 is going to use the war jump to get out. Leader might be the one in trouble though. Trying to defend this top tier when it's so low. They can just take down the tower and look for the kill. He probably has to back away here. Matt could commit to a dive, but Akali very mobile. Means they can't engage on top of him. And you just said it right. I mean, Carzzy, big turnaround from the first week. The thing is now, can he carry them across the finish line, right?
It's not my fault.
He's 2.5.
It's not my fault.
Is he going to cast a curse?
Caedrel, it's not my fault. Cast a curse is not a thing. It's not real. It's not my fault. Carzzy is
he has ult in 3 seconds too.
3, 2, 1. The heals available. He missed the Q. He's down. That is not my fault. I did not do that. Carzzy will go down. But there is a reply. At least Nisqy picks up one onto JeongHoon. The tower is now being focused. Hylissang's just about to arrive. Maggot Storm is available to him. I think I heard that charge just a second ago. Watch the moments and the tower will stand. Caster Curse doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
We cannot bring up any players playing well, can we? They're just going to instantly lose their lives. Yeah, Carzzy getting caught there. Bit unlucky. I think Astralis probably thought his ultimate was up because it was within 5 to 10 seconds of it coming back up. But yeah, just a bit of a misposition. This is the thing. You get your AD carry ahead. Your AD carry has to get you their Nexus. So can't afford to make mistakes like these. Miss on the Q here from 113. Looked like it should go through, but it didn't. Finn, again, caught off the side lane.
7 seconds for his flash. I don't think he should use it even if it becomes available. Skull will get procced, and who gets the kill? This time around, Elyoya, his 4th of the game.
Oh.
The 10th for Mad Lions, but the big one for me, it is 60 seconds until Drake, 40 seconds on that death timer. I want to see the vision set up. How do Mad Lions, how far do they push it? Does Astralis even fancy the fight? I mean, I don't know if they can win it.
I think what Astralis should do here actually is just rush Nash when they go towards Drake. I think they're thinking about it as well. Mad Lions know it. They've got no vision bot side, all their vision's top side. Finn's up in 20 and Chemtech Soul is not that important, so Kobbe.
There's a lot of damage coming out from that Cyclone. Crushing blow, flashes over the wall. That is huge for either an ensuing Baron fight or potential Dragon fight.
Yeah.
No teleports available for Chasy or Nisqy. However, Shadowflame was just secured there for lead. Actually, no TP for leader either. So when you keep a close eye on how quickly and how early people get to the respective objectives, 10 seconds for the Dragon, a lot of vision around Baron. So definitely sussing out that potential Astralis rush.
Yeah, good play by Matt. They pushed Astralis back, forced them to base, and now Astralis, do you fight this? They won't die before they arrive, but the question is, how do they get into this pit? Looks like they're going through bot. Chasy's TP is up in about 10-15 seconds, so we'll see if there's any wards behind. It looks like there's only the wave that he can play on. There's the Kled ult, but it's only to get onto the objective. Are they just going to rush it down and take a 50-50?
While Mad Lions, they don't have to fight this. They can concede it. They've got 3 already. The Dragon finds Carzzy. That's huge. Astralis will also have a numbers advantage now that Chasy has arrived. Trying to go Mega Gnar. Copy, no flash. No, he's taken down. Blown up. Chasy has done it. Finn's now using that pocket pistol to run for his life. Hilly has trailed Chasy, trying to zone away the rest of the members of the leader. 1-1-3 can't find the damage just yet. The crunch, the wallet. Chasy is out, and Mad Lions obliterate the team fight.
Only leader left alive. What is a leader without a team? They're all dead. Kobbe manages to get the kill onto Carzzy, but he has to commit so much to do it that Matt can turn and get down the AD carry of Astralis as well. It becomes a 4v4, and they have so much base damage, and they have so much health bars and so much gold leads that they manage to pull it through. Nisqy level 16, the leader's level 14. So much cooldown reduction as well, just spamming out the chain CC. It was really hard for Astralis to get a second target down after getting down Carzzy.
I mean, I really started to believe when I saw Carzzy blown up right at the beginning of the fight, but there's like 2 level differences before the gold and the items.
Yeah.
So despite this good play from 113, they're just too far behind.
So what does Kobbe do here? I think he has ult up. He walks forwards onto the rest of Mad. Actually, no, he doesn't have the ult or the flash because Elyoya tried to pick him off earlier, so he actually doesn't have anything. I thought he used it in the fight, so that actually made it so they lost this. Huge pick. Didn't even turn into a kill, just turned into a winning fight later on because of the spells. And then, yeah, he falls. And when Kobbe falls, it's on the leader to do the most of the damage. The Hylissang used his kits to get the Xayah down as well. And yeah, so much cooldown reduction. So much disruption. Not really much that Astralis can do there. So now with this Chemtech Soul, they're setting up for this Baron.
I mean, look at that damage difference there. Nisqy, so much AoE. As well as the fact, like you said, Elyoya being able to get all those summoner spells and ultimates from Kobbe setting it up.
Chasy?
It's Astralis starting the fight. They're down 6k. They found Chasy, who should just about be taken out before he gnaws. 113's running for his life, but Elyoya will chase him down with the Nibble Strike. 1, 2, 3 members of Astralis down. Kobbe the next to focus and fall. Mad Lions find another fall. What is a leader without a team? Fantastic line. Caedrel, he's once again running for his life. And Nisqy, he's chasing and hunting and even taunting. Throw out the dance, my man, you've earned it.
Elyoya is just mowing them down at this point. I mean, Astralis only really have the tools to get one target down. They have to invest all their ultimates to do it, and when they fall, that's it. They've got nothing left. They don't get onto Carzzy this time around, so he's top of the damage charts, untouched. Still has the ultimate available. Don't even know if he had it for the fight, but anyway, they got the soul, they got the Baron Man. Gonna take a base here and look to push for an end on the next fight. But Astralis' only way back into this game is go mid and fight. You can't really blame them. They have no side lane pressure. They have no real scaling. Just have to send it. Press R and go. They managed to find Chasy, but again, yeah, too much resource invested to get that kill. And by the time he dies, the rest of Astralis are falling.
Beautifully played here from Astralis all game, from Mad Lions, all game long. I just think the draft, the game plan, the execution has to be credited. And I do think a little bit of like anticipation. They kind of felt what was coming from Astralis. You felt the Kled and the Akali immediately. As we do jump on stage, just a quick update. We do have a brief pause here. You can see it has come from Astralis. I'll give you an update as soon as I hear exactly what and why. But the draft, the way that Astralis were going to play out, anticipated, prepared for, and Mad Lions had all the answers.
Yeah, they did. I think the Gragas Wukong just shuts down their entire comp. There's not really much the LEC and Akali can do when they're behind. You just constantly knocked up, CC'd. Even leader with the shuriken flip got interrupted as he tried to dash onto Chasy. Maybe if they got that kill a little bit quicker, they could buy more space. But that is not the story of this game. 8,000 gold lead to Mad right now. 26 minutes into the game.
I mean, very nicely done. I am hearing that it is a peripheral-related issue with Finn, as the league officials are currently investigating. We do have this brief pause. It has been resolved, I've just heard. So hopefully we'll be jumping back into game. And like, look, there's not enough copium on the planet for me to start spinning that story. But I think the more interesting conversation, once we do get onto the Rift, I want to look at the standings and talk a little bit about this. Because last week, Astralis did pick up 2 wins. And they were interesting games. Let's put it that way. I think Mad Lions, on the other hand, got smashed in the opening 2 games. But then, similarly, they bounced back and destroyed Koi on the last match of the week. And when you do take a look at the standings here, this will obviously even it out. This is where we're in the middle of the split, regular season. 2 of these teams will get eliminated from groups. So this is a big win for Mad Lions, as now they're looking to hunt down leader.
It really is. Need to get into that top 4, ideally. And like I said, they beat Koi, lost to Vitality in a bit of a draft-iffy game, you have to imagine. I think some players were vocal about that, and then they struggle against BDS, but they managed to get the kill. I
mean, I do think the draft diff is actually a good callback, because I'd forgotten that Mac was quite outspoken. He talked a little bit about some experimentation, kind of a different approach to the game. I think for Nisqy as well, at the beginning of the year, we saw so many carries out of him, and now, as the years played out, we see him go a little bit more to these like tankier, supporty type champions, and it's working out. Look, Baron and Pod minions on 2 lanes, 10k gold lead.
Nisqy's just, he's 5 levels up.
You know what can Kobbe 113 do? Throws out the Q, holds on to the offer now by some time. Kobbe's used the killer instinct, no flash available to him, but the gigantic barrel sends the fat man flying. While that's happening, Mad Lions have got themselves 1 inhibitor in the top lane. The Baron and Pop minions are still pushing forward.
But at the TP here, Nisqy.
This is just a comedy of errors on this final fight. Carzzy throws out the feathers. Teleport coming in here for Nisqy. Elyoya's used that Cyclone. No ult for Nisqy, but the next tower will be the target. 5 versus 5 inside the base, and Astralis, they've lost the Nexus turret. They're running out of space, they've run out of time, they've run out of items.
They've got nothing left. May as well make a last stand. Leader's ult up in 2 seconds. I think that's where they're going to go, but Mad are just going to end it.
And we're going to look for that final engage. Elyoya and Nisqy go all the way forward. Carzzy's on a rampage, finds himself another kill. Leader's hiding inside the shroud, but he's run out of teammates, he's run out of damage, he's run out of time. Another Nexus turret falls, and with Finn the last man standing, the ace is on the cards here for the Mad Lions as they blow up Astralis. Turn their attention to the Nexus, and Mad Lions dominate Astralis.
Fantastic performance from the Lions. Can hear the entire coaching staff screaming. Turning around that week 1, which wasn't too much of a train wreck, but still a couple more games, still loads of games to play, sorry, in these best of 1s, and Mad, I think, will start pushing themselves back up towards the top of the tables. Our second place team from last split.
And I'm going to be honest, it was a bit of a disappointing start to the weekend, mostly because I wanted to see a little bit more from Astralis. I think their composition was just outplayed. Beautiful execution from Mad Lions. I want to take nothing away from them. They did not give an opportunity to Astralis, but I think in that top lane as well, just really, really well done.
Yeah, both side lanes were winning. Their mid jungle was moving to bot the entire game, and Chasy was winning in isolation. So yeah, Astralis kind of backs against the wall, just send it, go in, didn't work. Mad Lions' comp was really well adjusted at stopping them from being able to do that.
And if you'll indulge me just for a quick second, I would like to invite up Johannes to the cast of this. Come join me here, Johannes, right in between myself and Caedrel. For those of you who watched some of our pause content last week, after Mad Lions had struggled, they hadn't picked up any wins. They really were down in the dumps. There was one man that flamed me, who actually called me out and said, how can you not believe in them? So I wanted to let you know that this is a gift from Mad Lions. I want to give you their season journey.
Aww.
And I wanted to just congratulate you on the win and say very well, oh, I can. Schooled. But thank
Ruthless.
you. I cannot believe you literally just did the scissors. Anyways, listen, you get back in the stadium. Thank you so much for being such a great sport. Player of the game nominees at LEC, Elyoya, Nisqy, and Hylissang. I actually did not expect the scissors to come out in the handshake.
Absolutely rolled on stage. Mad Lions aren't the only ones running around with W's here, are they? I mean, look at us, huh? Golf Dad and Summer Boy with his tequila sunrise, just giving out shots.
You know what? I saw your shirt come out, and I wondered if you'd taken a page out of all the German holiday makers and put your towel down on the bench at like 7 a.m.
We're at the golf club.
That's it, exactly. Listen, I've got a 6 handicap. You know what I mean? I'm good at golf. I tee off the ball or something like that. Let's go
Never
to an
played it in my life.
That's
Never played it in my life.
Frankie, save me, please.
I
Save me.
definitely can't.
Unfortunately, you're unsavable, Quickshot. Never mind. It was nice knowing you. Nisqy, it's fantastic to get to return to the LEC and see you standing here in the winner's position. As it was a difficult start last week, did you feel like with the draft today you wanted to return to your comfort picks?
I mean, not necessarily. I think Envy team today, I think their draft was kind of bad. I don't know what they did, but I think our draft was just really good, and I think they griefed their draft. So at the end, we just got the better draft, and I think we also played together, which was a big issue for us last week, where we would all do plays all over the map, not together, not coordinated, and today we were like a pack, and we just won, yeah.
Why weren't you a pack last weekend?
I mean, I think we were on different pages. I think our mid-jungle support synergy was not the best. So I think our early games were looking very shaky, and also, I mean, I think one of our drafts was kind of rough to play, in my opinion, without blaming my coaching staff. And yeah.
So talking about the draft this time round, did they pick what you expected them to? Because I spoke to Mac earlier, and he did say, actually, Astralis, they're not as predictable as you might expect them to be.
I mean, yeah, we didn't really know, to be fair, what they would do. I mean, I didn't expect them to do this, but I guess they did, and they just lost. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think they had, as I said, a great draft. I think it's fine for their play style, but that's not how the game works right now, so.
And you're trying to become a bit more aggressive in your own play style and be more experimental as well. What can we expect from you in the future? How are you going to make it work?
I mean, I like to play a lot of champs. That idea kind of came from Caps, the last split, where he would just play whatever he wanted and just win. And in the end, I kind of agree with him that, like, whatever you play doesn't matter as long as you play it good and it works, then it should be fine. And that's what I'm trying to do. In the first few days when I picked my little Cho'Gath, it didn't work very well, but yeah, it will come back in the future.
It's fine, it was last week, but yeah, it's going to come back in the future. How soon?
Yeah, maybe this weekend.
Oh.
Maybe.
Interesting. Well, Berlin's a big fan of seeing your Cho'Gath in action. Maybe you can make it work this time.
Maybe.
What do you think of other mid laners like Caps and Perks taking on a more supportive role like we've seen you do in the past? It feels like that mid-jungle synergy and Elyoya being the star was something we talked about a lot last year, and now we're seeing it from other teams.
I mean, I think it makes sense for example, Perks and Caps, because I think their top and bot lane are like really, really strong. I'm not saying mine or not, but I think right now playing supportive mid can work very well because there's a lot of champions to do so. And also like Roa being in the game makes it very easy to just play whatever mid champ. So yeah, I think it's interesting. But in the end, I believe that both those players are better on the carry champs than on like supportive champs. But yeah.
We're going to be seeing you play Heretics, and we're going to be seeing you play XL this weekend, but they are going to be playing each other next. Who do you think is going to take it?
I would bet on XL.
Interesting. Well, we will find out if Nisqy's prediction is correct very soon, because we're going to head to a short break, and when we come back, it's Heretics versus XL.
Everyone, intimidate them with our beards. Even if they don't look at us, I will look at them.
But we need to choose someone to stare out.
I don't see anyone, so I'm staring at everyone.
Mad Lions Not sure if they want this.
Looking for the engage.
What?
The barrel! It's stolen from Nisqy!
Is this allowed? I don't think this is allowed.
I'm coming, you guys
go,
are 2v2.
No flash, no flash. Go. I'm gonna flash
Go,
you.
Carzzy.
I'm flashing.
Go. Yeah, just
AD
go.
is dead. AD is dead. AD is dead. AD is dead. AD is dead. No flash.
Yeah, he's dead.
Good job, Hilly.
Mad Lions dominate Astralis.
Fantastic performance from the Lions.
Ready to change your view? Let's go. Cutting edge metal posters for the next generation of collectors. Magnet mounted. Discover officially licensed designs from the brands you love. Displayed. Collect